Hello, I'm Maggie Eubanks, a 20 plus year educator and school administrator, and I'm also a twice exceptional individual. I'm an ADHDer, or as I prefer, ADHG, attention divergent hyperactive gifted, which is a term coined by Dr. C. Matthew Fugate. So, for the entirety of my career in education, twice exceptional and gifted learners tended to converge in my classes and programs, and now in the school that I run. As I've moved further in my doctoral studies in cognitive diversity in education, I realize that the work I'm doing, which is to serve twice exceptional and gifted learners now, is also to ensure that children today will have a different experience than I did going through school. Research and experience has demonstrated positive correlations between outcomes for twice exceptional and gifted learners and their ability to find or create meaningful niches of learners and educators that they can connect with. Small, non-traditional schools can be great environments for twice exceptional and gifted learners to truly thrive because of niche construction. Think nimble, personalized, authentic spaces that offer belonging and community with the stability of a school transcript. So let's dig a little further. For decades, small schools have offered alternatives to large, rigid public systems, but historically, they didn't always meet the complex needs of gifted and 2E learners. Recently, though, purpose-built non-traditional schools have become intentional niche environments, flexible and responsive, but also able to provide social, academic, and extracurricular experiences students need. So group classes, clear pathways to college, structured schedules even, if needed, clubs, and leadership opportunities. But all of those coexisting inside a supportive, caring, and flexible community. So one of the biggest strengths of non-traditional small schools and niche creation is partnership. In particular, partnerships with parents, with programs, and providers. So these schools can form direct, meaningful relationships with families and then also integrate seamlessly with the students' existing programs and providers. Oftentimes, therapists, educational specialists, diagnostician. And for 2E learners, that means additional support for executive functioning strategies, support in accommodations for testing, in helping to reinforce therapeutic goals between home, their specialist office, and the school, and helps to create consistent supports rather than fragmented interventions. Additionally, oftentimes small independent schools can deliver personalized enrichment, adaptive and accelerated academic pathways, and also maintain the structure of an accredited school. So that combination can matter significantly for outcomes. Students are able to enjoy the flexibility of homeschool environments, which research also shows us that a significant amount of flexibility and choice feeds into positive outcomes for twice exceptional learners. You can take a look at the website for some additional studies I've listed under my segment of the presentation here, discussing how significantly important choice is when it comes to active engagement by 2E learners in what they believe are the most successful supports for them to be successful in life after high school. So students in those small independent schools can get that personalized enrichment, adaptive, and accelerated academic pathways, and also that structure because they're still continuing to get access to those more formalized systems like dual enrollment, college partnerships, and other programs that for some 2E learners, they are not getting access to in traditional systems because the rigidity of some of the measures can bar students with what we call those spiky profiles, okay? High areas combined with low areas in relation to their disabilities or neurodiversities. Those outcomes are less likely for many learners in traditional systems unless they are in a system that very specifically trains educators and targets for the needs that twice exceptional learners have. So what you're seeing is the ability to have both a practical benefit but a bigger long-term value for learners in those niche constructed small school environments if they're able to find one that specifically is trained in designing for learners who are gifted and twice exceptional. Another component is that research is increasingly clear that gifted and 2E learners can fare best when they're taught by educators who themselves are twice exceptional. Additionally, those educators need training. We're also seeing the importance of professional development for educators when it comes to supporting twice exceptional and gifted learners. There are certain small non-traditional schools, certainly ours and a few others, that intentionally hire gifted and 2E teachers who know how to build for the experience of neurodiverse learners. And that understanding is showing up also in the research, that we need to be providing educators in all of our systems. But if you are looking to support your child through small non-traditional schools, be looking to seek out those programs that explicitly train their teachers for supporting twice exceptional and gifted students, and not just once at the beginning of their program, but continuously as the research continues to evolve, because those educators help create the village that supports each learner's strengths and challenges. So the key takeaway for this particular area of presentation is that niche construction matters. It matters greatly for helping twice exceptional and gifted learners achieve those positive outcomes, not just in primary school, when they are able to have their gifted classes or their extensive gifted pullouts. To have long-term success, that level of enrichment, personalization, advocacy, accommodation, and support needs to continue throughout their K-12 experience and then transition into their university and transition to adulthood experiences. So these small, non-traditional schools can have ready-made niche environments that combine that personalized education with a community of neurodiverse peers. And it is an option to offer the best of both worlds for 2E learners, which is that flexibility, that expertise, that belonging, and a clear academic record that doesn't require or necessitate some of those particular extra efforts that are necessary for homeschool diplomas. Please don't hesitate to look at the big QR code at the top of the poster and follow that in order to take you to a web page which has all of our presentation information, as well as some of the research studies and some additional resource lists. Thanks so much for stopping by.